Hello, wonderful parents. Welcome to another episode of The Young Leaders. Today, I want to talk about who will your child blame? Under various circumstances of life, two different people can have entirely two different reactions under the same circumstances. Why is that the case? In fact, so many different reactions are possible. It really boils down to what's going on in your mind and how much accountability you take for the actions you make in your life. It's very easy to blame others, to blame your circumstances for how you behave. Let's look at the example of Sarah and Naveen. Now, it happens to be a really miserable day outside today. It's raining, it's stormy. Sarah wakes up and looks at the bad weather and says, I'm still happy. She still chooses to focus on the wonderful things in her life and focus on what she's doing. She doesn't let the weather bother her. Whereas Naveen looks up and goes, what a horrible day, and lets it affect his mind, cloud his judgment. What about, for example, there's an argument that takes place. Maybe somebody says something really awful to Sarah, and yet she decides to stay calm for some reason. She manages to stay calm. And yet the same thing happens to Naveen, and he starts to shout and scream. Why is this the case? It really comes down to the choices we make. In the wonderful book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey talks about proactivity versus reactivity. And when he gets deeper into the subject, he draws on the knowledge of Viktor Frankl, who's a psychiatrist who spoke about the importance of being able to choose how one reacts to certain situations, and that we do have the power to choose how we respond. If someone were to come up to you and slap you across the face, believe it or not, you have a choice as to who you respond. Instinctively, you might get angry, you might get upset, you might want to lash back, but you can make a choice. History proves that to be the case. We look at the nonviolent resistances launched by Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King. Those are vivid examples of different choices people make than just lashing out violently. And so we have a choice, but do we take responsibility for that choice is the question. And are you encouraging your child to blame the environment, to blame others when things go wrong, or to take responsibility, to intellectually analyze the things in their life, to do an inventory of things that are not working, to ask themselves the question, what didn't work? What could I have done differently? How could I make this better in the future? Those are powerful questions. And yes, kids can ask them. Believe it. Increase your expectations as we do at the Young Leaders, and you will be surprised, happily so. And so I invite you to make this a discussion point in your families, this proactivity versus reactivity. It's a powerful concept, simply illustrated, and yet when you grasp it, you can empower your life and the lives of those you touch.